opposing counsel, Your Honor. On the night of Saturday, May 20th, 2012, Liberty High School held their annual senior prom in Liberty, Independence. The defendant attended this prom along with some of his friends. After the prom, you will learn that Mr. Weaver and his friends went to Shelley Beach Marina. They took two boats, one owned by Alex Alvaro and the other by the defendant's father, and they decided to spend the night on the river. The evidence will show that the night consisted of drinking until the point of intoxication, and while they were on the river, the group decided to go tubing. While tubing, the testimony will prove that the defendant of Mr. Alvaro decided to race towards the railroad bridge. That is where a group of young teenagers were swimming that night. Freddie Ferris, a 15-year-old boy, was in that group of swimmers. The evidence will prove that Mr. Beaver sped underneath that bridge, and without hesitation, knowing that how dangerous it was, he drove through those swimmers, and then he drove off. You will hear today how his friends tried to persuade the defendant to turn around and check on the swimmers, which he saw, but he refused. You will learn that once this accident occurred, Mr. Alvaro's boat returned to the marina. The defendant, instead of returning to his father's slip, he decided to drive to a friend's house and dock his boat there. Once the boat was docked, testimony will prove that Mr. Beaver cut his hand while playing with the propeller. Mr. Beaver was taken to the hospital, where he showed signs of intoxication and had his blood drawn. The evidence will show you Mr. Beaver's BAC at the time that his blood was drawn was 0.05%. Your Honor, the defendant is charged with aggravated manslaughter and vehicular homicide. The state will prove that the defendant caused Freddie Ferris's death, that the defendant did so recklessly, and that he did so under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to human life. To do so, the state will call 3 witnesses. The state's first witness is Mr. Lee Lincoln. Mr. Lincoln will testify about the night of prom. He will also testify about the following events of the night on the river. He will also be testifying about how much the defendant was drinking and how reckless Dustin Beaver was. The state's second witness is Detective Evans. Detective Evans will testify about Freddie Ferris's autopsy results, and she will also testify about Freddie Ferris's fatal injuries, which are conclusive to being struck with a boat. With a boat on the morning of May 21st, being struck by the boat of Mr. Beaver. The state's final witness is Dr. Storm. Dr. Storm will testify about her extensive work in toxicology. Dr. Storm will also show you the exhibit she has constructed using Dustin's BAC from the blood sample that was taken the night of Freddie Ferris's death. And she will also prove to you that Dustin was too intoxicated to drive safely that night Freddie was killed. Your Honor, this case is about responsibility. At the end of this case, my co-counsel, Lila Evji, will come to ask you to find the defendant guilty of aggravated